Hello, good morning, welcome to the Scottish borders. I'm here with Darren today from North East England, who's just down there at the site, baiting up. I'm just baiting up myself. We're bait fishing for cod, and Darren's never been at this mark, so I'm hoping I can bring him a little bit of success. Just baiting up with some crab, some frozen peeler crab and some black frozen lug. So I'm going to get casted out, see if I can get into some cod. That is the target, the only target. We might get a bycatch of wrasse, pollock, coley, anything else that might nibble on. I've got some big hooks on. I've got an 8-0 on the bottom, I've got a 9-0 circle hook on the top, so quite big. Just a rig I had made up, I thought I'll stick it on. I have been making some new rigs up lately with some fantastic gear from Limitless, which I was kindly sent. I'll talk to you about them in a moment because I've got a new rod on the stand. Oh, on the rocks. I have been practicing casting with it, doing alright, but I'll touch base with you shortly about that. Let me get this in the water and I'll come back to you. I'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much for joining me here at Sparta Fishing in the bonny Scottish / English border. Cheers. Sun's right in your face, man. Yeah, first fish, first cast, and it feels pretty decent. Might be a wrasse because it's not putting up much of a fight. There we go, a beautiful wrasse. I tell you what, this rod made light work of it. Lovely. What an absolute belting wrasse, eh? Let me come a little bit closer, get my foot on there. Absolute clunk of that. Must be bordering 3. Nice one. Let us get him unhooked and I'll get him back in the water and hopefully get into that codling. Come on. Great start. Right, so what a start that was. Hadn't been in the water 20 seconds. Literally 20 seconds. So the rod I'm using today is a new rod. I've been sent this by Limitless to give it a try because he knew I was struggling with me casting a bit, but I wanted a nice strong rod. So thanks to Chris for sending this along and sending me some hooks and swivels and a nice towel and stuff like that. So a great big shout out to Limitless, Chris there, lovely fella. Thanks very much, mate. I have been trying the rod over the last couple of weeks. I'm getting used to it. A 14'10" is quite big for me, but I feel like I'm getting that extra 10-15 yards because it has a little bit of give compared to other rods I've had. So it's a Limitless AS 4500 XT, which are available now. If you want to buy them, just go on their Facebook page or website or whatever, give them a message. I've got their prototype, so although I can't show you it, it's completely different sort of decals and all that on the new ones. This one's pretty plain black and white. It's 14'10". It's a powerhouse of a rod. I've just lifted that fish up there. I thought, oh, it's a canny fish, but I thought, you know, maybe about 1.5 pounds. I thought it was a little codling. It was about a 3-pound wrasse. So really happy with the way it lifted up. I can cast it out really nice. So yeah, I'm getting used to it. You know, I'm not going to stand here and preach and say you've got to go and buy that rod. That's not my style. Everyone's suited to different rods. Chris thought that I might be able to manage with this sort of rod because it gives me a bit back, and he was right. It has done. So I'm looking forward to maybe using it over the winter months, trying to get a few codling. So thanks very much to Limitless. I'll see if I can justify it with a bigger fish, but First impressions, pretty good. There's another fish. Hard to tell what it is at the moment. Yeah, it's a lovely little codlin.
Oh, nice one, mate. Nice one.
Sorry if I went out of view there, I had to hop up. There we go. Target achieved already. I've only been here about 7 minutes. 2 fish. There we go. Nice, eh? Yes. I love the way this rod just sort of catapults it back in. When you're lifting it, it does all the work till you need to go back down again. Really happy with it. Looking forward to getting out on the heavy winter sessions. Come on then, fishy, let's get back. In the circle hook at the top. Right, okay, I'll talk you through the rig I'm using. I've left me rod out the water because I need a couple of seconds just to chat with you. So, I'm using a rotten bottom pulley. Now you know me, I try not to use pulleys. I don't think the bite sensitivity is good enough. Each to their own, like I'm certainly not suggesting you shouldn't, or you know, anything like that, or you should use the rigs I do. Makes, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. So on the bottom of here I've got a rotten bottom which I'm just tying the weight in now. Right, that's just a 20 pound little bit of line which engages onto the little hook. Let me see if I can get a bit closer. There's a little hook on there that just hooks onto there, and what happens is when it goes down, hits the bottom of the water, it falls off. So you've got a weak link. If you get snagged, that's going to snap and you're going to get to keep the fish. That's the plan anyway. So the rig itself, these rigs were actually made for when I was up on the Isle of Skye. I was going to go taupe fishing. So if you're wondering why the hell I'm using that heavy line, then that's the reason. But there's nothing stopping us from using them here at all. It was more for bite operation. So the hook length is 150 pound mono. It's got the Ultra XT 4 on the bottom. Yeah. And for the pennel, it is a Octopus Beak 5.0. A little offset eye on it, which is great. A little bit of tubey gripping on there, which I slide on, give it a little bit of a quick flash of the lighter, and it means it can move up and down depending on what size bait you're using. Up to a power swivel, which is a SS power swivel. I haven't got my glasses. I think that says 180k test strength, 180 kilograms, which is ample, obviously. So that's tied to that, and then I've got a 75 pound weight length bead, another power swivel, another bead, and basically it just acts. It's a, as you can see, it's an up and down pulley. You get a fish on, that's what you're going to bring first, and the fish is going to follow. So hopefully you'll not get snagged. That's my setup. New hooks for the winter. I was sick of snapping hooks. I was sick of hooks coming with half of the eye. So I thought, right, I need some new hooks. Spoke to the guys at Limitless, and he said, look Steve, give them a go, let me know what you think. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, I missed that one, unfortunately. I think I was a bit too hasty. If it's a cod, it'll come back. You're always stuck in that debate, aren't you? Where is your bait gone? Do you leave it? I'll give it about 2 or 3 more minutes. And if nothing progresses, then I generally bring them in and check the bait. Especially when you're using worms and you're sort of elasticating any bait on. I think once you've had a bite on worms, whether it be lug or rag, you've had a good few tugs, the chances are your bait is going to be annihilated. And because I'm binding it on quite well, it tends to last that little bit longer. There's always something left on. Well, there's another little chunky bait going out. It's a really uncomfortable mark to fish, this one. There we go, back in the water. Yeah, you don't need a big chuck here. It's just literally a plop anywhere in the water, really. And you could fish 10 yards out if you wanted, and I'm sure there'll be fish there. I'm just chucking into an area which I got them bites. Makes sense, you know. If I don't get anything over the next hour, then I might try a little bit closer in. The tide is coming in. It's a really big tide. I think either today or tomorrow is the biggest. I think they're about over 5.5 metres. The 0.1 low tomorrow morning, early on. I noticed when I got here, there's rocks here which I've never seen before. I've never come bang on low on a big one before. But yeah, there's some interesting marks around there, which actually I'm going to get on the lures next year. I'll wait for some bigger tides, and I'll be able to get on them for an hour or so and just give them a try. Fortunately as well, they're covered in barnacles, which makes the underfooting great, you know, less slippy. It's all you fishermen know, if it's a barnacle surface, it's fantastic, isn't it? Really stable and grippy. Well, it's slowed right down. It's been, you know, about 45 minutes since I last had a knock. I'm just going to reel this one in. There's a big bow on my line. There has been a little bit of movement on the tip, so whether or not there's a fish sitting on, like a little one or something, I don't know. But try to get you level. That's it. We'll give it a try and see what. We're not going to be here much longer, to be honest. We're both knackered. We've both had the lurgy. Darren's suffering pretty bad, to be honest. He's just exhausted. I can feel it, I must admit, but it's one of them things where we thought the fresh air would do us good. Maybe we should have just went to an easier mark. Poor thing, I'm not very happy about that. Like, that doesn't please us at all. It'll grow a new one, I suppose, but not nice to see. Like, I've seen it come to the surface and it just, I think from what I've listened to about catching lobsters is the fact that they can just say, right, goodbye to my arm, they can detach, and obviously that's what it's done to save its life. well, it thinks it's saving its life. I would have put it back, but that's a shame. Tired, Darren?
Yes.
That's the last time I'm bringing an hard man to the show. What's the matter with you, man? Poor soul. Well, that's the end of the session, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. Really chuffed with the rod I got to use, and thanks again to Limitless for giving me it. One of the rare things about speaking to Chris from Limitless, he didn't ask me to word or speech anything into any of my videos. He just said, if you fancy giving it a go, let us know what you think. He knew I'm not very good at casting, so he said, well, why don't you try this? So I really appreciate that. I'm not part of the Limitless team. I'm not part of their company. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. It was just a gesture of goodwill from Chris, who's a smashing fella. Said, look Steve, have a go with that, cracking rod, love it. I'm looking forward to using it in the winter. You'll probably want it back sooner or later. It is his rod at the end of the day, but you never know. I'll probably end up going buy one if it really suits us. I'm still getting used to it, but it's doing a great job. Like, so far I'm really happy with it. 14 foot 10. Ooh, a bit hard to wrestle with for me at the moment, but I am getting used to it. I'm sure I'll appreciate it more on those winter nights when there's a big swell. I've got that extra bit height, bit more leverage. It'll probably come into its own. So first impressions, really good, really happy with it. Listen, I'm not going to stand here and recommend rods to people, because at the end of the day, if you can't cast them, compress them, handle them, whatever, you need to try it yourself. But what I will say is it's a sturdy built rod, it's good quality, and I'm getting used to it, and I'm looking forward to enjoying it through the winter, if he lets us keep it that long. All the other gear, the terminal tackle's spot on. Like, I mean, there's no questions there. I can recommend them, no problem. Hooks are, you know, look lovely, nice and sharp. We'll use them through the winter. So from me and Darren, thanks very much for tuning in. The next video, I don't know when we'll get out. Depends how I feel. We'll see. I'm hoping to get on the bass soon, but I never know. So Darren's just trailing it up the rear there. He's knackered, bless him. Like I say, we're both getting over a bit of a virus, which we had since we went to Skye, really, when we got home. So we've been feeling a bit under the weather, and we only lasted a couple hours down there, which we still enjoyed. Fresh air rather than just sitting in the house moping about, feeling sorry for ourselves. So thanks for joining us. Take care. See you on the next one. Well, I wish I left the camera rolling a few extra minutes. I would have had 250 quid for this silly old sausage. Look at the state of this boy.
I'm good.
He went doing like a sack of sports.
I can't get up. That's torture me, rookie.
Just stop there.
I'll stay. Just come pick us up there.
Alright, see you, mate.
See you later.
Right, we'll leave him there. It's like an episode of Top Gear. We'll just leave him.